Smithing is one of the original and oldest skills in RuneScape, and throughout the years, not much has changed for how you train the skill. You obtain ores through mining, shops, or other methods, turn them into bars at a furnace, and then make weapons and armor at an anvil. In 2002, the Goldsmith gauntlets were added to the game, which significantly increased the amount of XP you gain when making gold bars. In 2005, the Blast Furnace was released, which offered a faster way to make bars and reduced the number of coal needed for steel, mithril, adamant, and rune. Back then, and even in the early days of Old School RuneScape, there were friend chats where you could go and pay players to keep the Blast Furnace running and get the best smithing XP in the game. Fast forward to September 15th of 2016, and 5 NPCs were added to the Blast Furnace on certain worlds that you can pay to operate the Blast Furnace. And apart from a few new items added that require a smithing level to make, that's a total of 3 updates in over 20 years that actually changed the skill in a new way for how it's trained. Today, that number grows to 4 with the Giants Foundry. To access the Giants Foundry, you need to complete Sleeping Giants, a novice quest requiring 15 smithing, and it takes around 5 minutes to complete. This quest gives you the basics of the Foundry, but I'm going to go more in depth this video so you can optimize your time here, enjoy this update more, and avoid mistakes. The basic concept of the Giants Foundry is to make giant swords commissioned by Kovac using your own supplies, and in return you get XP, some coins, and Foundry reputation for each sword you complete. This reputation is the currency that you use in the reward shop, and it can be used to buy a whole lot of things. The upgraded molds, which make higher quality swords in the Foundry, which in turn give you better rewards and better XP. The new Smith's outfit, which increases the speed that you make items at an anvil, and it also increases the speed you make swords in the Foundry. A double ammo mold that gives you 8 cannonballs at a time instead of 4. Kovac's Grog, which gives a guaranteed +4 smithing boost when consumed. Smithing Catalysts, which save coal at a furnace and double your experience per bar at Blast Furnace. And a new untradeable weapon, the Colossal Blade. With this video being primarily focused on the Giants Foundry, I'm not going to go too in depth on the items that you can get that aren't used inside of the Giants Foundry. However, the blade is a new slash weapon that has a 6-tick attack speed, and it has an effect where the larger NPC you're attacking, the more damage you're going to do to it, or the higher potential damage you can do. It is a 60 attack weapon, so I can imagine it's probably only good for peers and mid-levels, but who knows? With all that said, I got up bright and early, and I've done about 5 hours of Giants Foundry so far, doing a lot of testing with different bar amounts, different alloys, which is using multiple metals, and I've come to different conclusions here. So let's get into this, and I will go over the numbers and the info so you can have the best experience at Giants Foundry yourself. Originally, I was editing this video and I was considering using a bunch of clips just for my stream, but I think I'd rather just walk you guys through the Giants Foundry. So the way you get here is there's a minigame teleport. You can also just go to Alcarid, and it is just south in Alcarid, Duel Arena Telly, run down, or you could go like Glory Telly, run over, Diary Telly, run over, whatever. But it's right here in the Giants Plateau, south of the Duel Arena. I don't know if the Duel Arena will exist, in the future. But I figured I'd walk you guys through how I actually do the Giants Foundry. So you don't want those. You want to have ice gloves if you have them. I have them on already, apparently. And then you just want to have your bars, and that's pretty much it. You don't need anything else. You just need to get your bars, and if you have ice gloves, and then graceful, I don't even know if it matters that much. But the best way to do the Giants Foundry is to use 14 and 14. And I'm going to break down the math after I show you guys a run. But I just want to show you a run. I'm going to do it in fixed. I like resizable more, and I also use the object markers to mark everything. You can just like shift with object markers and mark stuff. But you talk to this guy, hand in, don't have a sword right now. I need to make him a narrow spiked sword. So I go over here to the mold thing, and I have all these molds. So spiked and narrow. Basically in each of these, you want to find the highest one that you have unlocked, which I already have chosen, apparently. I think I was like midway through a run when I decided to start editing this. So this is 16, but this is 18, so that's better. This is 18, the highest one I've got here for narrow spiked. And it doesn't matter if it's like 50 and 1 or like 25, 26, whatever. It doesn't need to be close to each other. Just the highest you can get in total. So right here, this is going to be a 59 quality that we make. And if we go over here to the shop, I've bought almost all the molds already. But as you get Foundry reputation, you just buy molds. That's the best way to do it if you're just trying to get everything leveled up early. And once you have your mold set in place, you pull out 14, 14. I have some rune bars, but I've been doing Mithril and Addy And just again, you want to do 1414. I will explain the math after we do this run, but you just chuck in all your bars. I think they're going to be adding a left click here. You pour it into your mold once your mold's set. And once that's done, you take the mold out and it's going to give you a sword. One thing that's really great is there's no like timer, like the temperature changes, but there's no like timer. Let me get rid of my XP bar and just show you guys this interface. Let's walk you through it. So the top is the quality of your sword. The better alloys you use, which alloys is 2 different metals or multiple metals, the higher your quality of your sword is going to start out at. So every time you make a mistake, you're going to go down, 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 and you don't want to make mistakes here. It's a huge, huge loss. So this top bar is just the quality of the sword, and if you've made mistakes, it'll kind of give you a visual indicator. That's all you need to know about this one. The second bar is the temperature currently of this preform sword, the thing you're wielding. And it slowly ticks down if you're just doing nothing idle. And that's all you need to know. You just want to be in the right range for the tools you're using. Now the tools, there's 3 tools: the hammer, the grindstone, the wheel. Hammer, always red. Grindstone, always yellow. And wheel, always green. You can just know that north to south. Red, yellow, green. You know, that's all you need to know about that. And then there's the waterfall and there's the lava pool. The left click on the waterfall goes kind of slow for ticking down. The right click goes quicker. You can see it's going very quick there. Now, depending on the sword you're making, these bars down here, this third thing is the main thing you want to pay attention to. Second and third, you want to be in the right temperature, and you want to make sure you're using the right tool, and that you're not like crossing over into the next tool. And so because this one, it's like a high tier, not the highest tier, but a high tier, it's going to give me like a bunch of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things I have to do. And so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to get my heat up, and you don't want to go past it. So like, because this is a higher tier 1, some of this stuff's blanked out. So you can only do it in this little window, less of a window than when you do in lower tier swords. So I go here because it's red and I'm in the red. I go here, and that's all you do. That's it. You just got to pay attention, make sure you're in the right temperature zone, and make sure you're in the right tool. And once you cross over, see how this has a white highlight box on it? That's going to change. And now my temperature is getting low. I haven't got the outfit yet or anything, so I, can't just stick at one tool and not have to worry about my temperature. But I'm going to use my hammer until it goes to the next highlight. So you see in the third one, that just changed to this one being highlighted. So now it's like if I was clicking on that still, I would get a mistake. I would get a lower reward. I would get less XP. You don't want that. So now I want to go cool it down. And this is where we get into the temperature control thing. So red and green, the north and south one, you always want to start on the right side. You want to get them as high of a temperature as possible. Yellow is the exception. You want it to be low because the grindstone, when you use the grindstone, the temperature goes up. So that's actually a really good spot, but it ticks down. Remember, when you're idle, it ticks down. So you want to make sure you're getting there quick. If you're too close to that bar, you might want to go heat up a little bit before you start. And there we go. See, the temperature is going up for this one, but it was going down for that one. It also goes down for green, which I'll show you in a second, but you just want to make sure you're staying in the right temperature range. And see that yellow I just got there? That is a boost. It's called a sweet spot. That yellow highlight that just happened, that wasn't rune light, that wasn't anything like that. That was the game giving me a little boost because I was paying attention. It's like an anti-AFK thing. And also, if you spam click it, you miss out on it. And there's a little bit of a bug right now. Hopefully it's fixed by the time you guys see this video. But there's a bug where like if you're right on the cusp of like switching and you click it, you might get an error that you actually didn't get. Like you didn't actually make a mistake. It'll just tell you that you did. But okay, see how green is also going down? So like I said, green and red, temperature ticks down when you're using the trip hammer and the polishing wheel, the north and south. So you want to make sure that you are starting on the right side when you're using those tools. And then for yellow, you want to make sure you're on the left side for your temperature. And you got to make sure you're paying attention. See, like right there, I just got that boost, but that was scary. That scared me. I got the boost, I went for it, but I was scared that I might have been a little bit late there. And if I was a little bit late there, I would have had to take a loss there. Now these losses, the quality you start out with. So I think we started out this sword with 59. We've deduced from a few mistakes and errors I made on my stream that every time you make a mistake, it's the equivalent of losing like 5 on your quality. So if I started at 59 and I had an error, I would be at 54 for the amount of XP I would get. I would get less XP, less of a reward, less GP, or reputation, sorry, and GP. So that one, I just got one. I got it. I clicked it. I clicked off for a second, but if you spam click, it will mess it up. I might, I'm not going to show you guys the mistake. I'm just showing you how to do it right, I guess. But yeah, pay attention to everything. You know, this is going up, but there's also a highlight, but you're close to like the next one. You just got to make sure you're not messing it up. There we go. So like I said, right click goes faster, left click goes slower. And now we're on this green tool, which means we need to be in this green region. Like I said, this top bar doesn't matter. It just tells you if you make a mistake. It matters, but it doesn't matter. The bottom 2 bars interact with each other in a way where you need to make sure you're at the right temperature while you're on the right tool. That's it. That's all this is. It's kind of fun. I actually really enjoy it. I've been enjoying it. I probably should have ended my stream a little earlier so I could get this video out sooner, but I was just enjoying it too much. And so I think we went over it before, but waterfall obviously cools it down. The heat heats it up. Lava heats it up. And our last tool, oops. So right there I made a mistake, but it's okay. I haven't touched the tool yet. So I'm trying to get it to go down because yellow, we want to start on the left side. We want it to go because it goes up in temperature on the grindstone. And like I said, Mr. Zulu, hello, wet, juicy nut. How are you doing, gamer? He gets a little feature in the video, I guess. But yeah, this is really fun. We're going to break down the math, but I just wanted to show you guys how to actually do this mini game. If there's changes in the future, I apologize, but I don't think there will be many changes as far as how it's actually played. Maybe there'll be quality of life stuff, but just pay attention to your temperature, pay attention to what tool you're supposed to be on, and that is a full run right there. That sword was kind of slow because I was walking you through it, but let's see how fast we got that in there. Hand it in, and I had my XP off, dang. But because it was on 59, I think I wrote down 59 before. Where did I write it down? I don't know what it is actually. So 55 gives 16,020 and 65 gives 17,730. 59 is somewhere in the middle of that, probably close to 17k. Oh, it says it in chat. I'm so dumb. I'm looking at my like notepad. 16,680 smithing XP for 14 mithril, 14 addy. Took me it doesn't say a time. Weird. That's weird. It doesn't say a time. Does it take too long? Because I was walking you guys through that. Well, whatever. Anyways, my best time right now is 5:48. Time will increase as you get the outfit and you know, you're paying attention. I've done 40 swords so far, which is, you know, not bad considering that I spent a couple hours so far editing as well. We got 33k GP, and then as soon as you go through that, you can get another commission from him. And see, this time broad spiked. We go to the shop here. I got 278. I really want to get the last 2 of these molds, but I got to get back to editing this video. So let me just make my mold and then go back to AFKing. But just again, wanted to break that down for you. In fact, actually, I will do this one. I'm just going to commentate over it and show you guys the notes over it. So I'll do this one in the background while I talk about the math. So this is now going to be future John commentating. As you can see, I took a lot of notes here. I actually have like 3 different notepads, but this is the main one that I'm using for, like, I guess breaking this down for you guys, just to make it all easy in one place. So 14 myth and addy testing, 14 myth, 14 addy. Typically, if you're just using that in the Anvil before this update existed, you would expect to get 1,575 total XP because addy gives 62.5, mithril gives 50. That together is 112.5 times 14 is 1,575. Simple enough, right? 14 and 14 is the best alloy combination, whether it's myth and addy, addy and rune, steel and myth, you know, bronze and iron, iron, steel. Did I cover all of them? I think I did. Anyways, I tested it out in 3 different runs. Every single time I had 50 quality, and we tested before multiple times the same quality to make sure that we always get the same XP, assuming 0 mistakes. Now, this all assumes 0 mistakes. Of course, all this math is going to assume 0 mistakes, because if you're making mistakes, I mean, how can we really calculate that? Anyways, with 50 quality, to start out from the mold. I used 1414 and I got 15,180 XP. I tried 20 Addy with 8 Myth and I got 13.3k XP. And then I tried 20 Myth and 8 Addy and I got 13.1k XP. So kind of tells you that 1414, just having a perfect mixture, is always going to be the best. Pretty significant. It's about 15% better with 20 and 8 compared to 14, like with 1414 compared to 20 and 8. And if you're just doing all of one bar, you are making a huge mistake. You're missing out on probably like 50 to 70% of the XP. If you're using like full Addy versus using a mixture of Addy and Myth, you are really just like kind of cucking yourself out of a lot of XP. For reputation, you can expect somewhere between 1,000 to 2,100 an hour. I think this is like from starting from like Steel and Myth combo. I think I'm probably getting somewhere around like 1,600-ish right now an hour, if I had to guess. But it's faster. When you get the outfit, it's going to be a lot faster because you're going to be having the chance to increase the speed. And obviously, as you get more molds, you're going to be able to have a higher quality, so you'll get more reputation for having a higher quality sword every time you turn in that sword, even if you're just using the same type of bars. So next thing to break down is the XP breakdown as your mold quality increases. As you buy more molds and you get offers of like, you know, a higher tier sword that you can make because you bought those molds. Even at the start, man, 26. Even at the start, I was getting 11,460 XP when I did a 26 one with 0 mistakes. Again, these all assume 0 mistakes, except for down here, I have some info on that, which we're going to go over. But it's 7.2 times the XP of what you would get at an Anvil before this update. So your bars are going a lot further. They're giving you a lot more XP than they did before, which is huge. That's amazing. Smithing is like very different now because, you know, you're not just looking at an Addy bar and going, oh, 62 XP, whatever. You're looking at an Addy bar and potentially going, oh, look at that. That's like, you know, 700 XP potentially, you know? So 65 is the highest one I've made so far. I think there might be a mold combination that goes higher than 65. But with 65 and Addy and Myth, I got 17,730 XP, which is kind of huge. Doing some rough math real quick. Let me open up my calculator. 17,730. Let's say you can make, let's say you get to a point where you can make like 13 swords an hour, like they say. That's 230k XP. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get to that. And also every time, you know, you're not always gonna be able to get a 65 combo. That's only a certain couple combinations, like broad heavy, maybe, I think is one of them. So depending on the sword that, you know, he commissions you, it will determine the best possible one you can make. But once you get all the molds, which should only take you probably like 6, 7, 8 hours, maybe at most, probably like 5 to 8 hours, then you'll be getting the best XP you can because you're just doing the best swords as long as you're not making mistakes and just using the best bars you can. But this is 11.2 times. So again, 62.5 normally at the Anvil times 11.2, 700 XP exactly when you get to that 65. That's huge, man. Your bars are stretching so much further. Anyways, moving down here with these qualities, right? I figured out, and the stream helped me figure it out too. I had 54 with 1 mistake, and I got exactly 15,030. Now 15,030 is also where 49 is. That's the same amount of XP. That's 5 less. I had a 55 sword, and I made 3 mistakes. I got to 13,560. 13,560 is the exact same as 40, which is also less, like -5 per mistake. So it seems like we can deduce that it is a loss of 5 of your quality per mistake. And so whatever XP you would get at, you know, 40 would be the same as if you got 45 and made 1 mistake, or 50 and made 2 mistakes, or 55 and made 3, etc. So mistakes are bad, man. They really mess you up. The breakdown of the XP loss, I lost 2460 XP because 55 should typically get me 16,020. I got me 13,560. You know, it scales differently. So like making a mistake at 40 to go to 35 isn't as punishing as like 65 to go to 60, but it's somewhere between 700 and 900 XP less per mistake when you look at the Myth and Addy combo. I don't know about Rune, don't know about Steel and Myth, but obviously it is going to be some kind of scaling, and it's, mistakes are bad. Don't make them. Try to pay attention. Here is the question that I think a lot of people have been misunderstanding, or maybe just not thinking the math out. And I did the math for you, so you don't have to. You just have to look at the screen and see the math. I don't know if I can. I think I need to adjust this real quick. Let me see if I can do that for you guys. Let's go up here and go there real quick. Sorry for how awful this is going to look. There we go. Is it better to make armor at an anvil and then use it at the Giant's Foundry? No, it is not. Here's why. If you are trying to make a good comparison, you want to find something that's the same bar amount used. So 126 of each bar, 126 Myth, 126 Addy, because 18 times 7 is 126, 14 times 9 is 26. Use 14 of each of the bars at the Giant's Foundry. You use 18 if you're making 3 plate bodies and 1 leg, and then making those into bars at the Giant's Foundry or stuff to make the swords. So with that, you get 7 runs with the anvil and 9 runs with just using all your bars directly at the foundry. And this is the math that we worked out. If we go down here, basically 7 cycles of using it there, you're gonna get 14,175 from the anvil, because again, 112.5 XP, because of the each bar combined, times 126 bars, 14,175. The XP you get from Giant's Foundry at 40 quality, you're going to get 94,920. At 50 quality, 106k. 65 quality, 124k. And the total XP with a 40 quality plus anvil is 109. A 50 quality plus anvil is 120. 65 quality plus anvil, 138. Now, if you just went and used your bars ahead of, didn't even make anything at the anvil, just took your bars. Sorry, my cat is fighting me right now. She is like so attention hungry right now. I'm sorry. Anyways, if you just went and used your bars directly at the Giant's Foundry, didn't care about the anvil at all, it would take you 9 cycles, because 9 times 14. And with 40 quality, you get 122k. At 50, you could get 136. And at 65, 159. All this again assumes no mistakes. But look at these two comparisons here. 109 versus 122, 120 versus 136, 138 versus 159. You are missing out on XP because of this. This is, again, Mithril and Addy. I haven't done the math on Rune, Addy, and Steel Myth. I know that it is still better to just use your bars directly at Giant's Foundry, but I don't know the exact percentages. But the percentages for Myth and Addy, at 40 quality, it's still 11.8% better to use 1414 directly at the Giant's Foundry instead of going to the anvil. At 50 quality, it's 13.4% better, and at 65 quality, it's 15.4% better to just use it directly at the foundry. You don't need to use the anvil. This is mostly a question for Iron Men. I know mains probably don't really care. It may just depend on the economy and like what you can buy on the GE. Haven't been paying attention to like the cost of like an Addy plate leg or whatever, you know what I mean? Who cares? But this is the breakdown. This is all the math. We did a lot of testing, and I hope that it's helpful for you guys when it comes to the Giant's Foundry. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate you all. And I am very tired because I have been up since like 4:45 in the morning. If you could drop a like, comment, sub, maybe check out the Twitch, drop a follow if I'm not live, or just drop a follow if I am live and say you came from YouTube. That would be amazing. And yeah, have a good rest of your day, guys. Take care.